What's up and welcome to the Boys of Fall Week 13 edition of the show. It's crazy that we've been flying by here. Say hi in the chat. Let us know that you're here. We had our boy James Bond in here like 40 minutes ago saying hi. We got Juan. What's that? Johnny, I bet you. We got Fish in here as well. Mod in the Discord. It is nice to be back. We had Sean here yesterday or last week, whatever. So hopefully he filled in. I started to watch it and then I got busy with the baby or something like that. But Ty, it looks like you had a pretty good week last week. How are you feeling?
Well, clearly right now, as I post in the Discord, I am currently hiding my identity. I have black eyes from Ohio State. I have a busted neck from the book. I'm just going through it right now. I want to remind everyone who's potentially looking at my address to come hunt me down. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'm not interested in any smoke or anything else that you're bringing. But this has been a generational week for me as far as losing. I've never seen anything like it. Some say it's the worst week ever. I would agree. Worst week ever.
Sometimes you lose.
But this is the day. In a year from now, somebody will write a book about what happens here today. And you'll witness it. You'll be a part of it. And I'm telling you, from noon to midnight, I'm coming for the ass.
All right. There you go. And we got just 2 weeks to do it. And then obviously we're going to be going into bowl season and stuff, but we were talking about it just a little bit ago. I mean, you guys got to think too, for those of you that are, unfamiliar with the system or whatever, you need 6 wins to become bowl eligible. So there's a lot of 4 and 6 teams out there. There are some teams out there. This is the last 2 weeks. There's some teams out there that have to win today and they have to win next week in order to, continue their playoff, bowl game eligibility hopes. And then there's certainly some teams that are looking at, they're ranked 12th or 13th, 10th, whatever. There's certainly some teams that absolutely cannot afford to lose. So there's some really good spots in sense of looking at handicapping, and there's some outside extrinsic factors that kind of go along outside of just looking at matchups. There's some of that stuff where teams need style points. Teams cannot afford to lose. Teams absolutely have to win, at home, backs against the wall kind of thing. So these next 2 weeks are pretty exciting in that case. I think it makes things interesting, I guess, if you could say. Let's see. I don't think I have. I'm gonna pull up this Twitter page that I normally follow that has the injury news and stuff pop up, so we can kind of, if we get anything kind of crazy. I think Cook was the only one that was kind of back and forth in terms of injuries and stuff. But let me actually. I guess we'll pull this recap up. Let's talk about this recap. I was ready to start giving out plays to you guys. Let's see here. Ty, I'll let you do it. You were here last week. That's a lot of green on your side.
Yeah. Texas State came through with the team total nice and early. They were smoking. Illinois money line. I love my Brett Bielema. Liberty minus 13.5. They're trash, but you know the deal. We circle back on them. We circle a block. We're going to get that back today. JMU money line, easy as day. Utah State minus 3.5. I mean, they beat the brakes off of them. And then we swept the dogs, too. We had to sprinkle Utah State. We had to get an academy play in there, Air Force. And then Rock Chalk, Jayhawk with the absolute stomping. Love me some Kansas Jayhawks.
There you go. Yeah, Utah, I saw that was like a 30-point win or something like that.
Yeah, they were beaten.
Yeah, they killed them. That's where Jordan Love went to school, right?
I
think that's where Jordan Love went to school. Because I always feel like I see him in that jersey, and that's the only way that school stays semi-relevant in my eyes. I feel like.
Man, I don't actually
I'm pretty
remember.
sure.
I mean, that
I'm
dude
pretty sure.
has been sitting for like 4 years before he got the
Yeah,
start.
you're right. Looks like Sean got Boston College over there plus 20.5. Everything else was really close though. It looked like I didn't pay a ton of attention last week. Obviously, we had the baby 10 days ago now. I have a 10-day-year-old out there in the living room hanging out with his mom right now. But hey, we're on week 13. He was born on the 13th. That was 10 days
Good
ago.
day.
We get days. There's a lot of numerology going for us to have a pretty good week here, I think. But
I'm born on the 13th. Great day.
yeah, there's a lot. 13th week. He was born on the 13th. That was 10 days ago. We give 10 plays, like all that stuff today. We will. Let's see. I see some questions here. We'll get to them. Asking about Kansas, asking about Colorado. Well, there you go. Colorado, Kansas again. I will say for sure that we will have a play on that. But at the very end, save your questions. Hang out with us. We will answer those at the end and do a rapid fire. I mean, we'll go through. We'll be here as long as you guys want or whatever to answer those questions for you. But Ty, are you ready to kick it off? You got anything else to say?
No, this is all I'm going to say is if you fade me, totally get it and won't be upset with you. But don't miss out on this run I'm about to go on because it starts here in about an hour and a half, and it's going to be something that people talk about for decades to come.
Excited for it. There you go, for sure. 10, 15 units at least.
Easy.
For sure. All right, why don't you kick us off?
Of course, I'd love to. Let me get my paper here. All right, let's start it off. Like I said, we're going to circle the block on them. They lost us money last week on some nonsense. But let me tell you something. This team, they're not losing today. They're going up against Western Kentucky. It's Liberty versus Western Kentucky. The best part about this game is we don't have to take a spread at all. We get to take the Flames straight up. Okay? It's like minus 124. It might have moved a little bit again. This line was last night. But they're 7-2 on the season. They dropped that game. They know they didn't play well last week. Obviously losing outright. That's not happening. They look really, really good when they bounce, like after a game like last week, that next week that they come out. And Western Kentucky, while I love them offensively, defensively, I'm not that impressed. And I think that Liberty has the better defense. They're at home. There's just no way that I see this Liberty team losing 2 weeks in a row. Not happening. Gimme Liberty, Bibberty. Liberty money line. All day long. Liberty Insurance. You know the deal with the guy on the bridge. So we're going Liberty money line at like minus 124. No way. 2 weeks in a row. No way.
Yeah, I do like that a lot. I was on just from for fun plays or whatever, but I had Western Kentucky last week and just a money line. Yeah. And they lost. Western Kentucky's coming off a game where they scored 1 touchdown and they lost to a team that scored 0 touchdowns. They kicked 4 field goals, I think it was. That's not a good look, obviously. So Liberty,
and you've seen a lot of steam coming on them too. So they opened up as dogs, and now they've moved to a favorite, right? A small favorite, but they are still a favorite. Thank you, Juan Damian, Nebraska. That's a believer right there. Appreciate you. This is the confidence I need.
So, I've got some ugly plays, and what could be sometimes these weeks are kind of ugly. Ty over his right shoulder has the overs only, and I've got a couple unders, and we were similar on a play, so I scratched it and I threw in an over just for the principle. Although I kind of did fall in love with it. I kind of fell in love with the play, to be completely honest, on what I ended up doing. But let's go ahead.
I feel like you don't understand sometimes what only means.
Yeah, right. No, I asked my wife. I don't listen the best.
Okay,
but
got you.
Let's talk about it. Indiana, Ohio State. I think this is going to be a fantastic game. I think that we have 2 very good defenses. I think the unders the play. I think the unders without a doubt the play. You have two defenses facing each other that just don't give up a lot of points. Now, of course, they both do score a decent amount of points. However, IU's giving up just 13.8 points per game. Ohio State giving up just north of 10.3 points a game. IU's been good, man. IU's been really good. Proud of them, as a Notre Dame fan, proud of somebody living in Indiana, another team to kind of pay attention to and be excited about. But they played Michigan last week, and boy, did they almost lose to Michigan. Boy, should they have probably lost to Michigan. Michigan's got a pretty good defense. They ran into a team that's got a pretty good defense, and their offense absolutely sputtered, in my opinion. What's going to happen when they face this Ohio State defense? IU on the other side has got a pretty damn good defense themselves. Ohio State is without their starting center, which Fish, one of the mods in the Discord, was talking about the center that's going to be playing, started the entire year last year. That's great, but wasn't starting this year. They had to shuffle the offensive line. That's going to cause some issues with an Indiana team that does have a pretty good front, front seven. And I don't think Ohio State's going to move the ball all that well. We've seen them go against, I'm not comparing Indiana to Penn State, but Ohio State's offense did not look great against Penn State. So you just got two good defenses, man. 53.5 is a really low number. This could be, and it could, as long as we don't get defensive touchdowns, anything like that. I mean, this could be like a 7-7, 10-7 first half. And then, we're kind of sludging along, afterwards or whatever. So it's not exciting, but I think defense wins championships, and both of them are pretty damn good. So we'll go under.
All right, we'll pick a side. Pick a side too. Pick a side.
Spread.
It's not going to count, but yeah, let's just. I want to hear it. No, I want to hear.
No, I want IU to win. Absolutely, I don't like Ohio State. I've never liked Ohio State. So absolutely rooting for if it's a tight, close game, like I think the under could come in. I think that means Indiana has a chance. It's not going to be a low scoring game because Ohio State scored 40 and Indiana can't score. I think it's going to be, remember that Ohio State and Penn State game, wasn't it last year? It was like 13-10, or maybe it was Michigan and Ohio State is what I'm thinking of. And there was like 2 touchdowns scored by both teams, like 2 field goals, and that was enough.
So you think Indiana covers?
It covers. Yeah, I would lean covers. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of steam. It was at like 14.5 or 13.5. Now it's on like 10.5. So.
And then the total didn't move at all, which is weird.
I need Ohio State to win. Just on a quick side note. I don't need the committee looking at Penn State side-eyed. Be like, well, maybe they don't belong here, right?
Right. No, that's right.
12 teams. We finally got an opportunity to get in. I don't want them looking at us sideways if Indiana beats Ohio State. So
I'd say there's no way they fall out. There's no way they fall out of 12 unless they lose to Minnesota. Even then, I don't think they fall out.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. All right. We move on.
It's a hard.
Let's head down. Yeah. No, I know. I just don't want to think about a world in which I have to deal with that.
Yeah, just win and don't worry about it.
Right. All right. Let's go down to the Southeastern Conference. All right. Texas A&M versus Auburn. I love this game. It is a little bit of a fishy line, but to be fair, Auburn has a really, really good defense. I believe they're not even giving up 20 points per game. I have it written down here. Yeah, 18.7 points per game they're giving up defensively. Texas A&M scores a little over 31 points per game. That offense is able to move the football, score touchdowns. Auburn's biggest problem, honestly, is the fact they can't score when they're kicking field goals. Like they like 35 yards and over, they are no good. So they're in trouble there. Which is a major problem. 35 yards is crazy. Texas A&M is going to squeak by. I think they'll probably be losing this game possibly at half. And if they lose this game outright, it'll come down to some, Auburn fashion type of stuff. Field goal, was that kick 6 type of trash that'll happen.
Right.
But Texas A&M is currently fighting for their life to get in the playoff. They think that they should be there. A loss to a 4-6 Auburn team is not going to get you there. So I'm rolling with the Aggies today. Texas A&M money line. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing all day long. Texas A&M money line down in the Southeastern Conference. They're fighting for their life down there. I just think offensively, Auburn's going to have a tough time keeping up with the scoring ability of those Aggies. So I don't care where it's played at.
Yeah, for sure. I like that a lot. That's an interesting stat. I did not know that about IU up there. Pulled up every 36 years they win. It's been 36 years. That's like Jeepers Creepers, although it's not.
All right, I'm on Indiana money line. Fuck it.
Just based off that stat. Hey, it's
Just
okay.
Listen,
there's the extrinsic factors. All right. Well, let's roll into my over. And I don't have a ton to say about it, but Pittsburgh versus Louisville, over 57.5. Two offenses that are, these high octane type offenses, two defenses that don't play a lot of defense. Louisville 7-3 to the over. They play at the 53rd fastest, which isn't, by any means like, oh my gosh, like I wouldn't even probably mention it if it wasn't going along with Pitt, who plays the second highest rate. They played a lot of tempo. We're talking, quick, no huddle, bang, 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 go, 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 which is obviously absolutely fantastic for an over. 57.5 is not a lot of points when you look at the tempo that the two teams have. I talked, Pitt, man, was like this nice little, not necessarily like Cinderella story or whatever, but Eli Holstein, was killing it. And I remember saying, I don't know, weeks ago, a couple months ago, I said, you don't know Eli Holstein now, but you're going to know a year or two from now. Heisman race maybe in a couple years or something. He got hurt, kind of started to fall apart. In comes this Yarnell dude, if I'm, pronouncing it right. And his first start, he throws for 350 yards. A touchdown, an interception, but he threw the ball really well. They're a good scoring team. Louisville's quarterback is super solid as well. Louisville just does not play a lot of defense. You see them get in just shootouts. You see that Miami and Louisville game where it was just electric points. It's just another touchdown. I think that we see a really similar game with the Pitt and Louisville here. So this over 57.5 feels pretty small, to be honest. So that will be my contribution to the overs only club.
Thank you.
Louisville over 57.5. Good.
Thank you for paying your dues. You might get turned around at the door with all the unders you take, but we might let you in today. Look, can I say something? Yarnell might be one of the worst last names I've ever heard. That's just a terrible last name, Yarnell.
I've seen some pretty hard ones. Like there's like the Texans linebacker. His name is like 3 T's and like 6 O's.
Maybe that's a linebacker. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's like 2-2.
Was it like a construction noise?
Yeah,
like construction noise.
It's like I remember like we were watching the game. My wife was like, "What does that say?" And I was like, "I don't even know how to pronounce that, to be honest." Anyway,
well, listen, the best names come out of like the law tech schools. There's a guy named Pig Cage. His last name is Cage. First name Pig. P-I-G. What a name. Yeah. All right. We move on. Some of you have been asking for it. I'm going to give it to you. It's Colorado versus Kansas. I would imagine most of you think I'm leaning one way or the other. Well, there's only one way I'm leaning, and we're going to buy a point here. We're not going to leave it at the 2.5. This is where it was last night. There's a Christmas parade out here. Oh, Pig Kennedy. Okay. I'm pretty sure his last name's... Oh, never mind. All right. So we're going to buy up a point. Again, this number was where it was last night, 2.5. Maybe it's 3.5 now. We're taking it to 3.5. I also really love the over here. But 59.5, that's getting kind of large. But I trust Colorado and Kansas to always come through with an over for me. I had Kansas plus 3.5 written down as the official play. That's the one I'm going to roll with. But I'm also going to be taking the over. It's just, I love Devin Neal. I love Travis Hunter. I love these games at 3:30. It's like the best thing to put on. We do have a Travis Hunter Heisman ticket, which each week looks better and better and better. We got it at plus 3,500 in the Discord early. The unicorn, though, today
awesome.
Will not be the difference maker. All right. I think Kansas wins outright. They have to win outright to get to the bowl. They're a better team. New offensive coordinator. Started off really, really sluggish. I trust this Kansas offense to get the job done. Kansas, money line. But plus 3.5 is the official play. But you know the deal. Sprinkle. And when I say rock, you say chalk. Rock.
Chalk.
Thank you.
Right.
Jayhawk.
Kansas plus 3.5 was also my other play. So this is our, agreement, whatever. We were on the same side, but we try not to have, we want to try to have 10 plays, 5, unique plays from both sides. So if that makes you feel any better, we both, individually came to a Kansas plus 3.5, number. And I actually do really like the over as well. I have like a juiced, FanDuel has like the boost builder plays and it's gotta be minus 400, blah, blah, blah. I actually pulled that total down and took the over. I like points a lot there too. Trent mentioned that. Ty mentioned that. There it is, Trent. All right. Well, time to talk about the only team that matters today. The Irish. The Irish play at I think it's 7:30.
So un-American.
Got the the all fight, the mantra from last year. Had to put a Notre Dame hat on for today. Look, let me just first say that well, I think a stat, and not like it matters, just like this IU stat with the 36 days or whatever. It's been 66 years since Army's beat Notre Dame. 66 years. Obviously, this is probably the best Army team that has ever was. There's a lot of like media and like stories going on. There's a lot of ad pieces talking about the undefeated Army, and they're just really getting pumped out right now because they know it's not going to be that way anymore. They know they're not going to be undefeated anymore. Notre Dame is minus 14.5 right now. You can get minus 13.5. I mean, it's just smart to do it. You're paying like minus 128. I think it was when I clicked on it. So nothing crazy. There really hasn't been any slowing down Notre Dame. I'd be comfortable taking a minus 15, minus 17.5 to be completely honest. I think you can't really compare the Navy game because Navy did fumble the ball like 5 or 6 times, but Notre Dame has been relentless. Freeman's been relentless. They're just running up. And you get to the point where they're not even like passing the ball, crazily. I mean, they just are scoring the ball. They see a triple option every year. They've seen a triple option every single year for the longest time. They're a team that's really used to it. It's a great, fantastic defense. The offense is even better. Army does not have the offensive. Even if it gets to the point where we got to get into a shootout, I don't think Army has enough firepower to get to that. Notre Dame's defense is good. And it's without a doubt, this is Army's first test. Realistically, this is Army's first test. Army, I don't feel like has beat you haven't been like, okay, we're going to find out what Army's about. We haven't got to that point yet. So we're all the way to the point where they're 9-0 because they haven't played a contender, a good team. And I'm a Notre Dame fan, so I could be completely wrong. I think, Ty's probably got something different to say, but I'm going to go with Notre Dame minus 13.5 as my, of course, unbiased.
I mean, the disrespect to the American soldiers here is absolutely ridiculous to the fighting Irish. To say that the Army has not beaten anybody is absurd. I remember them taking down Hitler in 1945. I remember them fighting against terrorism just a few years ago in Iraq and Afghanistan. So to sit here and disrespect our troops is crazy. I don't have a play for this game. But to sit here and say that they have not beat anybody. Have you seen Band of Brothers?
Yeah.
I mean, they took the beaches of Normandy like no problem.
No, there's been some good wins in the history of Army. There's some good wins.
A few.
Yeah.
Army dominated World War II. You're damn right. So to sit here and listen to George spill this nonsense that Army's not beating anybody. I remember them taking the Eagle's Nest where Hitler hung out with his boys.
Yeah, I don't know if Army and Notre Dame played during World War II or not, but they probably lost that game.
They would have gotten their ass kicked.
Yeah.
All right. A triple option, storming the beaches, kind of the same thing.
Right.
All right.
That's funny.
But I see where you're going with it. All right. Next, we're going to head out to a place where Yellowstone Ranch is at. No, I never have. I swear. Never say anything bad. Never. Love the Army. Great guys. Anyways, we're going to go out to Yellowstone Ranch with Mr. Dutton and Rip. All right, we're going to go Boise State at Wyoming. Beth. Yeah, Beth. Lady's crazy. Yeah. Listen, Ashton Genty, while he, like any other year, most likely would get a good shot at the Heisman, it's ours and Travis Hunter's to lose at this point. But tonight's game is going to help him. The Cowboys give up almost 6 yards per carry, 201 yards on the ground a game. Ashton Genty is going to have one of those games and stat lines where you're like, this is from Madden. Or this is one of your build-up players that you guys built a few months ago on NCAA where you're like, holy shit, I cheated and I got a 99 running back as a freshman because you did that glitch, and now you're smoking them. Yeah. Ashton Genty is going to be 99 overall tonight against the Wyoming Cowboys. We're not going to take the spread. I'm not going to mess with that. It's a little high. But you know where we're going, Trent. We're going team total over 37.5. If it's an overs only type of day, it's always overs only, except when you're Jort loves an under and he loves going against the Americans. He might be one of the first ones deported here in a few weeks. I don't know. But we're going over. Team total over 37.5. Give it to me. Ashton Genty scores 5 touchdowns on his own. What? I'm sure that's a prop.
Minus
too. You got that prop? Yeah, probably. Minus 320, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns plus 100.
Yeah,
ridiculous. Let's see. You got one more. I should have 2 more, I think.
Yeah, I got one more. Yeah, one more.
Perfect. All right. Perfect time to talk about another under. So, Alabama.
Hell yeah. That guy gets it.
Let me read this. This is the odds were stacked against Army today, but the odds were stacked against 13 colonies in 1776. What did they do?
That guy gets it. Steinmeat gets it.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yep. They're going to beat the Irish just like they beat the British back in 1776. They're going to say, I don't have a play on this game, so I'm not going against your play. I'm just going along with it.
Notre Dame.
Steinmeat, you get it. You get it.
That's funny. All right. Anyway, Bama, Oklahoma under 46.5. Oklahoma has to win this game. Needs to win this game. Or at least one more. They got to win one game at some point, and they got to either beat Alabama or they got to beat Auburn next week, and neither of those are really looking great, to be honest. So I think that they got to try bowl eligible. They got to try to slow the game down. They've also won like a ridiculous amount of final home games. Something in like 20 of their last 21 seasons, they've won the final home game of the year. That would be this one right now. I think if we have a chance for Oklahoma to win this game, they got to slow it down, and it's going to be an under kind of game. Bama wants to get in, get out. They have more to worry about, in my opinion. Milroe, I don't think, has been as active. I don't feel Milroe is going to run as much as he has been. In fact, I don't know if they will be able to. Oklahoma's got a pretty damn good defense. One thing they do have is a good defense. Oklahoma's going to be without their starting wide receiver in Burks. They're also missing a secondary receiver, that Fariku or whatever. I forget. I just seen it. He's going to be out as well. So they're missing a couple leading receivers. They all are one of these teams where you look at SMU, who in the year they had Preston Stone, they had Jennings. They couldn't figure out what their identity was. And until they went with one quarterback, they were finally able to flourish. Well, Oklahoma's running around with Arnold. They're running around with I can't think of the other guy's name. It just popped out of my head. But they're trying to run with 2 quarterbacks. And there's the old saying, you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. Oklahoma's not going to be able to do much offensively. They've got a fantastic defense. It's just 46.5. I mean, of course, I'd like it under 49, but it just feels like a really small total for the defense strengths that both these teams have. Genty 6 touchdowns plus 2,200. If that's real, that's doable.
Yeah, for sure.
Sprinkle.
Why not? I mean, obviously, sprinkle 5, hit 4. Right? Do like a ladder style play.
Yeah.
Right. Don't put all your money on the 22.
I'm about to look and see if they even have what FanDuel says.
I wish I could bet that.
Oh, they do have it. They actually do. I've never seen that before.
They got the ladders?
Yeah. So Genty is minus 130 for 3, plus 220 for 4, plus 650 for 5, and plus 2,200 for 6.
Yeah, so you hit the 3.
Colorado ran all over Wyoming last game.
Yep.
Big time.
Take the 3, take the 4, take the 5, take the 6. Because you got to think that they want him to get this is a perfect opportunity for them to push for this Heisman for him.
Yeah, boy, got my wheels turning. Plus 2,200. I don't know. That's got to be like a school record at some point. You don't see guys score 6 touchdowns. We'll recap at the end though. Trent, we'll recap at the end here, and we're coming up to our each have one more play here. So,
all right, I'll finish my side off with the only patriotic way to do that, and that's with points. We're going with the over at UCLA and USC. I'm surprised that this game is where it's at, but I get why, because UCLA is not that good. USC's defense is better. But you go back and you look through the history, the last time that this game has been under 51 was back in 2016. We're talking about last year's score was 38-20. The year before that, 45-48, 62-33, 43-38, 52-35, 34-27. You see what I'm getting at here is these teams, when they get together, points get put on the board. This is the Battle of Los Angeles that UCLA, last year they won. USC's coming back for revenge. You better believe it. All right. But 51.5 is too low here. Too low. Taking the over. And what that all comes down to is just based on when two teams get together, usually won't matter. Obviously, sometimes it does. But when you have like history like this, like even back to that 2016 game where they didn't hit it 2016, 40-21 the following year, 38-20, 35-14, 38-28, 50-0. So these teams score every time they play each other. So I'm going to go with the over 51.5. USC, UCLA, the battle of the I-5, the battle of traffic. Give it to me. Over points.
UCLA is also one of those 4-6 teams that need to win out. So good incentive there. For sure. All right. I got one more play. Now's the time. If you guys have any particular questions, a lot of those questions were about, Kansas, Colorado. But if you're wondering about the Baylor and Houston game, the Marshall or Old Dominion, Iowa, Maryland, whatever, if you guys had a question about a particular game, now's the time to put it in chat as I, talk about my last play here very quickly. And then we can go ahead and jump into any of those questions that any live viewers happen to have. I don't know how many people are watching on Twitter. It looks there's about 60, 70 people watching on YouTube, kind of going back and forth here. So let us know if you have any particular questions while I talk about SMU minus 10.5 against Virginia. Let me just say real quick, as we talk about Notre Dame, okay, teams after they play Notre Dame, guess what their ATS is? 0-8. Okay. Notre Dame is tough. Notre Dame, it's a tough physical game. It's a trend. Look, it's okay to talk about it. Doesn't mean anything for sure, but it's nice to know that when teams play Notre Dame, the game after, they do not cover. SMU's offense woke up, like I said, once they changed quarterbacks, once they went to Jennings. I don't think Virginia has the firepower to hang in the game. Virginia doesn't have the QB play. They are also playing with 2 quarterbacks. They had a quarterback play the first 2 quarters. He got yanked. They put in another guy. They got both guys taking reps. They don't know who their starter is. That just does not look. It's just not a good look. That means they're going to struggle to score. And SMU has been a very good defense. They're going to take away the run. They're going to force them to pass with the 2 quarterbacks that they can't figure out who they want to be their starter. SMU, I think, covers the 10.5. As long as it's under 2 touchdowns, I think it feels pretty good. Pretty good.
Yo, all right. Okay. Yo.
That is what you're talking about, laughing about?
I mean,
you can say it.
I don't think that I don't know. But I mean, I took Navy against Notre Dame and they just dropped the ball a bunch of times. I don't know that I would take Army on the money line. But if I were to take it, personally, as an American, blinded by the red, white, and blue, I would be taking Army spread. But that's not because I did any research. I'm not saying Jort's pick is wrong or biased. I am saying it's un-American. But if I were to, I mean, that's just what I would be doing. But that's not with any research. That's just me being, having red, white, and blue running through my veins. All right. I actually have a pick on this game.
I did too.
Where are you at?
I was leaning Arizona.
Same. Arizona State. Totally agree. Boom.
Yeah.
All
I don't
right.
have I couldn't give you a write-up on it, but I would certainly in the Arizona State. I think BYU ran into it's catching up to them.
The last two games have been brutal for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Last two games have been brutal. They've been emotional. The Utah one was really emotional. They got out there. They won barely. They lose last week. Arizona State's my play there.
Yeah.
Who else we got?
Sure.
Thoughts on the under for Wisconsin, Nebraska? Oh, I can also do this too. No, you gave me access.
Oh, you can or no?
Yeah, I can.
I figured you probably could. You just never tried.
No. Well, I couldn't before. Now I can.
Anyways. Oh. I would lean under. As, that's a hard question to ask Ty, obviously. But, I mean, Dylan Raiola has not looked good, man. In the first 4 weeks, he looked pretty good. And then I even tweeted about it and, what happened to this guy? And he started to fall, play some quality opponents. Wisconsin, has beat up on some bad, some Purdue's and stuff like that in the conference. But, they've certainly been doing better. I don't know what the actual number is, but, I mean, I would lean under.
Yeah, I like Duke.
They looked good against Oregon. Let's go to this one so we don't skip it. Man, Air Force used to be.
Got it. I got you. Go ahead. You talk. I got you.
No, I was just changing it back. Air Force used to be one of my favorite teams to bet on last year. I mean, all the time. I was big on Air Force, and then this year they just haven't done a lot. But Nevada also doesn't do a lot. Nevada doesn't have a very good run defense either. So I would certainly lean Air Force without even knowing the number. I'm sure they play tonight, right?
Yeah.
Was that one of your dogs?
The dogs are in the backyard. Let me just tell you, I got 5 dogs locked up back there. They're barking just like they did last week. They're barking. I like Duke over Virginia Tech. I do. Defensively. Okay. You look, I could do this producer thing. No.
Go ahead.
Duke over Virginia Tech. Yeah, I like that one too. I like Duke. Jordan, here you go. This one's for you.
I hadn't even thought about it. A busy morning, but I wonder if that's even offered. And yeah, for sure. I'm clicking it right now. Because we got him for plus 750 last time. Oh, it's plus 750. We got to run that back, Mick. For sure. Run that back. I'll drop that in the Discord. Thank you. I didn't even think about it. We hit it plus 750. I mean, it wasn't even sweaty, to be honest. You have two teams that run the ball extremely well. It just comes down to whether or not the defense is going to, do we have a first quarter, defense, slow defense, or is one team having to play comeback, mode kind of in the fourth quarter if it's like a blowout kind of thing. But yeah, that's a good look, especially at 750. I say you definitely, especially since we just hit it. I mean, we're playing with house money at that point. Solid.
Oh, okay. Quit asking about unders. No, I'm just kidding. George's got you covered on the unders.
What is it?
Iowa money line.
Okay, funny enough, I've been all over this game, and Billy Edwards was announced questionable. I don't know if he was hurt last week. I can't pay that much attention to everything, but I'm looking at, at 51 seconds ago, splitting reps and warm-ups. There's a video of him dressed warming up, but he's splitting reps with the other guy. So in terms of an under, it's a good look. Cade McNamara didn't travel. Excuse me, sorry. IU is without QB1 too, And honestly, I think QB3. They have the walk-on Jackson something or another, or maybe that's his last name. That's the dude who was actually a scout team quarterback that played last year. I'm sorry, linebacker. That's the guy that's starting. He threw like 4 passes when the entire second half or something like that.
They all
So
found the dirt.
Under for sure, without a doubt. And I'm sure it's dropping with the Billy Edwards news. I was looking pretty heavily on Maryland because it's one of those backs against the wall and they're at home. They have to win this game to become bowl eligible, and they have to win next week. So but I'm looking at like a Maryland plus like 10.5 or something like that, So I don't know. The spread is actually tanked with some of the quarterback news. It's like +5. I don't know what it was before. I think it came down actually, which maybe is weird. But anyway, yeah, Iowa should win the game, but it's in a spot where Maryland has to win the game. But I would certainly lean under.
All right, rapid fire. Florida cover the spread. Yes, I think so. I think it's 12.5. Could be a little bit less or more now. It was 6. Or no, he's talking. You talking about? Come on. All right. Yeah, I think Florida covers the spread. Illinois versus Rutgers. So funny enough, I actually had this as a play. Rutgers plus 3.5. I removed it. Illinois, I took them plus 3.5. That line just feels fishy to me. Like Rutgers has been, how's Illinois? Good team. So I just stayed away from it. But I think Illinois can cover that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I can. I'll give you my 2. I'll give you 2 quick. I would take Liberty money line, and I would take Kansas plus 3.5.
Pitt and Louisville probably, and probably the Ohio State.
Say it.
Indiana under.
You were going to say Notre Dame. He was going to say Notre Dame.
No, I don't want to be too caught up. If y'all care, Zach, I personally think Ole Miss is going to beat Florida pretty good. Ole Miss is ranked 9th right now. Ole Miss can't afford to lose, and they have to put up style points, in my opinion. I think they need to drop like a 50 burger on them, to be completely honest. They already have 2 losses, so they need convincing wins. So I would lean and it's just one of those outside factors. That's where I would lean. Not to, obviously not official play or whatever, but that's where I lean, is just because they committee wise, they need a convincing win.
All right. On 2 different sides. I like it. All right. North Carolina, BC.
Total, no idea.
Oh, I would take Boston College. And the reason why, again, it feels like a trap line. I said to you earlier, George, that today it seems like there's like a lot of trap lines, and this is one of them. Like, how? Why is it this low? Shouldn't be. Backup quarterback. Yeah, so that's what I would be. All right, this is going to be the final one. Parlay locks. What about Tennessee over 40? Yes, fuck yeah. I think the total is like 56 or 51. I would definitely be taking the over 43.5. You're getting it under the key number of 44 and 45. That's what I would take for sure. Team total, Tennessee. I usually never have to look at Tennessee because I know Chief is going to just look at them. So I know that a Tennessee game every week is covered. I don't even have to look at it. But I love that play. Do you have an opinion?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I wasn't even on my radar.
Okay. Well, let's get to the dogs. They're barking. They're scratching at the door. They want to get in. All right. My wife's sister's here. The dogs are annoying the hell out of me. They're barking. They've acted like they've never been loved before. Right. But here's what we got. We're going to go Illinois money line. I said I like them plus 3.5. It feels like a sketchy line, but if they cover, they're winning. All right. Next, we're going to take Rock. Rock
Oh, chalk. My bad.
Yeah, Jayhawk. Thank you. We're going to go Kansas. Then we're going to go West Virginia University. Take me home, country road,
I'm not
West
singing.
Virginia. All right. Then this is the game I love. This is a sneaky play. Doesn't matter who you are. You go down there to old App State with the corn cob. He's smoking on the helmet, the tobacco. Most likely they're going to put a tombstone up of you in the graveyard where teams go there and get buried. App State, money line versus JMU. My final pick of the day is because I'm proud to be an American. We're at least on the Army money line. Let's go. The dogs are barking. It's America first, baby. It's America first. I'm Irish, and fuck the Irish today.
That's okay. Look, I wouldn't say
Look,
I'm a hair
these
nervous.
are dogs. These are sprinkles.
Right.
It's not a fade.
Yep. No, you're good. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. So, my plays. Well, you can see Ty's plays. He gave the dogs there for you. But in case you missed it, we're on Ohio State, Indiana under 52.5, SMU minus 10.5, Pitt, Louisville over 57.5, Notre Dame minus 13.5, pulling it down a little bit. Still get a good number on it, so I'm okay doing that. Alabama and Oklahoma under 46.5. I believe I've seen that movie.
All right, and I'm on Liberty money line, Liberty, Bibberty, Kansas plus 3.5, Rock, Chalk, Boise State. Wait, it's 38.5? It's 37. I bought the point down. Got to get it underneath the key number. No big deal. You can fix it later. Boise State over 37.5. Texas A&M money line. USC, UCLA over 51.5. And the dogs are barking. My wife's sister's here. They're annoying the hell out of me. Illinois money line. Kansas money line. West Virginia, App State, and Army.
My wife's sister is here too.
I know. That's why I was saying that. Because the dogs are annoying you. Right? They're locked up. Yeah. They're acting like they're not getting any love. They're barking today.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Went through a lot of questions. I'm sure it's parlay. Yeah, I think Ty said he liked Duke earlier, if I'm not mistaken. But really good interaction. I mean, that's the best part of the show is, you guys hopping on and being here. I think that we certainly learned that Saturday mornings is the way to go. A lot more views that way, a lot more interaction that way instead of Friday night. And, there's no sports going on right now. People aren't too busy watching NBA on a Friday night or anything like that, So I think I'm ready to close it out. I got about 40 minutes to finalize some plays in the Discord here. And Ty, do you have any last second things?
No, I feel like I said everything I had to say. Just remember, losers stay down, winners get up. It's not about how hard you get hit in the face. It's about how hard you get hit and keep coming forward. That's said by the one great Rocky from Philly. So, I'm coming back today. You better believe it.
So goofy. Okay, anyway. Now that we got that out of the way. Appreciate you guys. Speaking of the Discord, if you're not in there, you got a link at the bottom of the description area if you're interested in checking out. All caps, Jort, Jort, on the 2 week or the month. If you want to get all those plays, I've got, a 2-leg on the Ohio State, 3-leg builder. Ty's got some plays out as well. But of course, we're giving out what we think are our 5 favorite from each, 10 full favorites. We are going to parlay it. We are still trying to get that sweep. Ends up being like plus 50,000, something crazy. Sprinkle some Starbucks money on it or whatever. Try to see if we can't get ourselves a big win. But dogs are barking. We appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out, and we will see you guys back next week.